here?
Yeah. So what happened? I got to tell you, like I've experienced like 4 very interesting, unique cases, but the most illuminating for me was the fact that I started receiving these chains of phone calls. I was at work and my phone rings and it looked like a regular number. I actually don't remember what the specific of, what the tag was. Did it say it was from Uber or not? But the person that gets on the call with me says they're from Uber support. It's an Americanized accent, didn't sound like anything foreign, spoke very clearly and articulately. And I was really interested because the person, sounded very professional, warm and inviting, and said, "Hey, listen, we're just looking out for your account. What has happened is that it appears you have asked us to call you in the Uber chat function. So you go to the Uber website and it says chat with us, and you put your phone number in there and said that your account's locked and you're looking for help." And I said, "Well, that's weird. I'm not doing that, obviously. I'm sitting here at work, so this must be a fraudster." He's like, "Well, listen, that may be true, but let's just make sure you've got everything locked down in your account." And so I'm a security guy, and we'll talk more about that in a minute in terms of where the antenna came from. Because I started asking him, how in the world could you be resetting my account when I use multi-factor authentication within the platform? When I log on, I get a secondary request to make sure it's me. And that hasn't happened. So how would you have gotten my number? And he says, "Well, the number was put into the chat function. So we're just following up on that and making sure you understand what's going on." He then asked me to log into my account. So I logged into my account. The conversation quickly pivoted when I started asking questions. "Well, I don't understand. This is how you do account resets. Your terms of service don't say that. And that this is really interesting and weird." The individual still smartly backpedaled, agreed with me that using multi-factor authentication is the right thing to do. And we agreed that okay, everything's fine. Somebody's trying to break into my account. It was really weird and suspicious, and it's not a call that I ever expected to get. In fact, I started looking and Googling on Reddit and other sources where people discuss fraud attempts, and this is a common scam where there are fraudsters out there that are incredibly sophisticated and really smart. So this is the first call. I, of course, reported my own case to my security department. We talked a little bit about what things that we could also be doing and all of that. 2 days later, I get another phone call, and this time I'm a little more aware and attuned, and it's from Coinbase. Coinbase is a cryptocurrency management solution. It's a way to connect your wallets together. I have a Coinbase account. I'm not a crypto guy. I have probably $20 in it. I was experimenting and frankly had forgotten about it. And so I was like, wow, interesting, what's going on? And it was a very similar story. Very Americanized person, very smart. Even on a recorded line, you can hear the beeps. I don't know if it was real or synthetic, but beep, calling on a recorded line, just providing support. Someone has logged into your account, and we want to make sure that's you, and want to make sure your account's adequately protected. I talked to the individual and mentioned the previous phone call that I'd gotten from Uber, and that I have multi-factor authentication enabled on this account. I'd like to understand how someone could have gotten into my account. And this is where it got really interesting. As I'm talking to this person, my phone literally starts vibrating out of my hand from notifications coming in. And what was going on is that person was talking to me. I suspect they were recording my voice because I think what they're doing is they're using these conversations as a way to voice print your voice for future fraudulent calls. And also in that moment, they're sending recovery notifications to most of your money accounts. So what does that mean? It means that they told PayPal, I forgot my password, and they were looking for a reset. Somebody else told Venmo that I forgot my password and looking for a reset. This also happened with Uber, and then also happened with my Gmail account. Why am I pausing on that? Well, what's happening is they're trying to get access to the 2 places that I control my accounts from. They're trying to get access to either those accounts directly, Uber, PayPal, Venmo. And if I had been in the moment not thinking or panicked or nervous, I would have clicked that button, approve, and then they would have had the ability to set my new password. And if they weren't able to get that, if they were able to get access to my Gmail account, then they would be able to say, reset password, log into my Gmail account, and then use the link provided in that Gmail account. So the orchestration of both the voice track, the individual that was talking to me that didn't sound suspicious at all, and I'm a technology guy, this person sounded legitimate. He understood the Coinbase platform. He understood how access control worked. He understood how I was managing my profile. It's how everyone manages their profile that cares. And then at the same time, there was an orchestrated either by this person or someone else campaign in the moment of creating that excitement, creating that concern to try to break into all of my other accounts. So it's incredibly illuminating to me. I've never experienced that level of fidelity of social engineering. Like someone literally took the time to research me, to call me, to talk to me as a professional, knowing that I probably know my stuff, and tried to use that in the moment conversation to try to get me to reset everywhere that money moved in my life. And when that phone was going off, I broke into a cold sweat. Like, are these guys about to break into my financial accounts? What else are these people going after? And the reality is, I think this is the new norm. This is what everyone should expect. This is what's both happening from a fraud perspective to the individual and people that are targeted by these attackers, but it's also what's happening within Group 1001 and the company itself. And so I want to spend a few minutes talking about the campaign I've been on personally to protect myself. And I think if folks take this on, they'll do a much better job of protecting themselves from this kind of fraud. And I highly encourage you to do so considering what's happening in the world. But your knowledge of this will make you a better security thought partner in protecting Group 1001. These attackers are looking for money from you as much as money from Group 1001. And what they know about you is the same information that they will often try to use, leverage, or know to get access to either, to get up to your personal accounts or to Group 1001 assets. So if you're not doing a good job of taking care of your personal life, you're probably highly subject to becoming a victim at Group 1001 as well. We don't want that to happen. We don't want you to be distracted with cleaning up an identity theft situation and the damages that can come from that any more than I want you to become a victim of identity theft and them leveraging that against Group 1001.